it's Cara. I have a fun and exciting project for us today. We're going to be putting together a rose arbor arch and planting some climbing roses. It's a kit for a cedar arbor, and we're just going to put it together pretty quickly, get it set into the ground, and then plant some roses. Earlier today, the kids and I put together the sides of the arch and also this arched top part of the arbor. Now, I couldn't exactly put it together with a couple toddlers. I needed another adult to help me, so I had to wait until Ryan was done with work in order to assemble the final product. But the kids actually were a really good help putting it together up until this point. They loved hammering in with the nails and using the screw gun and everything. They are definitely always down to do a good project, especially if power tools are involved. So I was glad to have their help this afternoon. It has been an absolutely gorgeous day, and this evening is no different. The sun is starting to go down, and I just love this time of day. The golden hour glow is one of my favorites. It makes everything look even more beautiful. The tulips are still going a little bit here in the front, and I just like the contrast of the white and these dark purple, almost black tulips. I think it's really pretty. Ryan and I are moving this arch around to a few different spots. I know where I want to put it, but I was kind of contemplating having an additional arch here. So the gravel you see to the right side of the frame is our parking lot, and we have a little sidewalk that goes towards the front of the house. I was thinking it might be nice to have an arched arbor here at the entrance of that sidewalk. So that's something I'm toying with, and I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like before we moved this particular arbor over to its final location, which that is over here next to the new flower beds, which we created together in a previous video. I documented the process of making these beds and planting them up in another video that's over on our channel under the playlist Landscaping Around Our House. We have holes dug in the ground for this arbor. By we, I mean Ryan dug the holes for the arbor. They're about, I think 14 inches deep, 8 inches wide approximately. He just used the post hole digger to get all the dirt out of these holes, and we're gonna set this arbor in concrete so that it's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon. At least hopefully not. The last step before we put this arbor into the concrete is to attach these metal legs. These actually have a tip at the end, and they're pretty much like a stake that just gets screwed on to the wood part of the arbor. That way, the metal part is what is fully submerged in the concrete, and the wooden legs of the arbor are not being 100% submerged in the concrete. Hopefully this will make it last a little bit longer. Time will tell though, but it seems pretty sturdy and a good idea anyway. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I just am pretty impressed with how this arbor is turning out so far. The wood on the legs is solid cedar, there's no flimsy hollow pieces. Seems pretty heavy duty and sturdy. I mean, sometimes when you get a kit like this, you never know, it could be hit or miss. So I've been pretty impressed. Ryan and I are just trying to get this level and support the arbor on these cinder blocks so that it doesn't wiggle or move or sag as the concrete is setting up overnight. This arbor has been pretty easy to assemble and put together. It really has taken only maybe 2 hours all in all. We'll see how long it goes here with the concrete and getting it all level and set up. But so far, hasn't really been very complicated at all. We are just using your bagged concrete mix from Lowe's. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just your typical hardware store concrete. After we got all 4 holes set in concrete, and by we, I mean Ryan again, we made sure that it was nice and level. I leveled it across and also up and down in a couple different spots just to ensure that everything was nice and square and level and that it would be setting in the ground. We used a few wooden shims on top of our cinder blocks as well
to hold everything in place. It's set up just in one evening, but it's actually been a couple days now, and it's time to remove all of these cinder blocks and wooden shims and see how we did. There's no going back now anyway. That concrete is rock solid, and we're definitely not going to be adjusting the level of this very much if it is off. Does it give anyone else the heebie-jeebies when you pick up cinder blocks? I'm always scared that there's going to be a black widow inside those holes. Last night when I got these, it was dark and the sun had gone down and I wasn't sure what could be creepy crawling inside. I've definitely run into a few black widows picking those up before. So stay safe out there, y'all. It's nice to see the garden finally taking shape and coming together in different areas around our property. I did a little sketch during the winter months of kind of what I envisioned this spot to look like, and it's finally happening. It's really nice to see everything come together.
The arbor is firmly in place now. The concrete is all set. I'm gonna plant 2 climbing roses, one on either side. And those roses just came in the mail yesterday from Costco. I ordered them from Costco.com. They actually came from Heirloom Roses. This is the Heirloom Rose catalog that came with it. I've ordered from Heirloom Roses in the past. On Costco's website, they had a package deal for 3 roses and some extra special things from Costco. That was a pretty good purchase price compared to if you just ordered it straight from the Heirloom website. So I was excited to snag that. The 3 roses that I got, the first one is actually a shrub rose that we're gonna plant on the other side of the house called Coco Loco. There's a picture of it there in the middle. This one I've seen pictures of online, and it looks like it takes on a couple different colors as the rose matures. There's another photo of the rose.
You can see here that this color is a little bit different than the picture I showed you a second ago.
It's supposed to be moderately fragrant and 3 to 4 feet tall by 3 foot wide. Then the other 2 roses are the climbing roses that we will train to this arch arbor here. The first one that came in the package was the Impressionist, which is a very fragrant multicolored rose that repeats blooming and is good for cut flowers. This one seemed to have several different shades of yellows and pinks from the customer photos I've seen online. And then in addition to the Impressionist rose, Polka was the other variety that came in the 3-pack.
Here's an up-close photo of that rose.
It is also a climbing rose. It is apricot in color, very fragrant, continually blooming, and hardy from zones 5 to 10. So I'm excited to see those. That'll tie in nicely with the orange, white, apricot kind of color theme we have going on currently over here right next to this arbor. The roses came in pots just like this. They have a few leaves on them. This isn't sponsored at all. I bought all this with my own money. The 3 roses also came with this additional box that has a bunch of amendments in it. There is some aged cow manure, mint compost, and bone meal. And there's one other thing underneath all of this paper here. I'm losing it. Some fish fertilizer. I've used fish fertilizer on my roses in the past, and it definitely made them more vigorous and blooming a lot more. So it was nice that they included all this as well. The roses by themselves were discounted compared to the website, and then all this extra stuff was just an added bonus. So if the sale's still going on through Costco's website, you might want to look into it if you want some roses. Again, not sponsored, although if you want to sponsor me, Heirloom, I'd be down for that. I'm excited for this arbor. I think it's gonna look really nice. So let's plant up these roses.
I can just picture it now. I just can't wait until this arbor is completely covered with pretty flowers. You can see there's some black dirt, and then we also have some thick red clay here too. The black dirt is compost that we added to this entire flower bed area. and I'm also going to be putting all the amendments that came with these roses in the holes as well. If I can get them open, that is. They have them stapled together pretty good. I might just have to rip it here a little bit.
I'm gonna put some of the cow manure and the bone meal in the hole. And some of the mint compost. I'm gonna do about half cow manure, half mint compost in each of the holes and spread it out across the plants.
And with these bags, I'm just kind of struggling a little bit to get them all open.
Polka is going on the right side here.
I'm going to put it in at a little bit of an angle, just hopefully to help it grow towards the arch.
More of the mint compost and the aged cow manure. This one is the Impressionists.
This one is a little bit sparse on the leaves and twigs. Hopefully it does all right. I am a little bit skeptical on this plant. The other one looked really good. This one looks a little bit rougher. I'm giving everything a really good soak of water, and then I will mulch everything up a little bit to hopefully suppress weeds and get everything nicely and firmly established. I had some rocks kind of around this edge. I'm not sure exactly how I want to position these in the future, but for now I'm just kind of giving them a wide berth around the edge of the rows. Then just putting a little bit of mulch around the base of each plant. Oh, not base. I'm moving them away from the actual base of the plant to give it a little bit of a ring, but mulch around the general area.
I'm really happy with the arbor. I think it looks really nice, and I'm excited to see these roses climb up and over it. Subscribe if you want to follow along and see that process too. Now that we have both of the climbing roses planted on either side of the arch, let's go plant the other rows by our other rose bushes.
Here on the other side of the house, these are the oldest rose bushes. They're a couple years old now. I have a little bit more room here to plant a few extra roses, so this is where I'm gonna put the shrub rose that came in the 3-pack. This soil on this side is really dark and thick on the top, but pretty heavy clay down at the bottom. I'm trying to mix in a little bit of the compost and these other amendments into the bottom of the hole before I plant the rose, giving it hopefully the best chance of getting nice and established from the get-go.
The Loco Coco rose is planted right there now. That's just a shrub rose. It's not a climber like the other two we just planted. So it'll look nice here. This climbing rose on the retaining wall fence there is already covered in buds. And all my other roses here are budded out too. So that means flowers are soon on their way, which is always really exciting. I think the Loco Coco has a really unique color. From all the pictures I've seen online, it's kind of unlike any other rose, so I'm excited to see that bloom for the first time in person later on this summer, hopefully. If not this summer, then next year for sure. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day wherever you're at. Thanks for watching. My name's Cara again. Bye y'all.